Okay, yeah, it's a new racing season, so let's fucking get rocking. Engines scream, the grid ignites, steel and thunder under neon lights. The Lauda roar, it shakes the ground. New season's here, yeah, the world spins round. Tires scream on the edge of control. Gavin's voice fueling every soul. Hold your breath, it's go time now. He's calling every corner loud and proud. Light it up, PRF1. The battle's burning, we just begun. To us what? To us speed. Our condition is in the clay. Light it up, PRF1. The battle's burning, it's only just begun. Through the smoke, through the speed, Lauda division lives in every lead. Crank the volume, feel the flame. We race for glory, not just fame. Oh, this is where legends run. Light it up, PRF1. G-forces been reality. We chase the flag, chase destiny. From sunrise tracks to midnight fights, we own the straights, we live the nights. Pit lane fire and carbon scars. We're dreaming big and driving stars. And Gavin's got the fans on fire. That's a move you can't retire. Light it up, PRF1. Feel the fury, feel the sun. Speed and soul, tight and clean. This is more than a machine. Crank the volume, feel the flame. We write history with every name. Oh, this is where legends run. Light it up, PRF1. Let it higher, stokes the fire. They're born tonight in the flash of wheels and fearless flight. Light it up, PRF1. No retreat, we chase the sun. Lot of hearts in fearless drive. Every pass we come on alive. Crank it louder, light the flame. With every turn we change the game. Oh, this is where legends run. Light it up, PRF1. Keep her fully lit, you hear me? Let's make this an epic season.
Well, good evening, everybody. Well, good evening, everybody. I've just done my mic check. Yes, it's GAVINBASS1, and it's brilliant to be back on a Tuesday night here with the Lauda division in PRF1. I've been doing a lot of testing, and I've got a few tips from different drivers, and I think I've got my internet sorted out to a level where I hope it works. I hope my voice is coming through loud and clear. It seems to be, with a few viewers in already tonight, and everybody is most welcome as always. Get those kids round the TV, let them watch their daddies racing. Let those daddies watch their kids racing. Let those kids and daddies watch their ladies racing. Whatever's going on, just get it sorted out. And as you know, if there's anything that you want to share with me, shout outs, anything at all, stick them in, and I would be only too happy to engage. But this is a full qualifying tonight. We're in Miami, US of A. The skies are blue, certainly for qualifying. And we've got virtually, in fact, a full grid. And we've got AMS Godwin, we've got PRF1 Clem. Let's go, Gavin, Speed Freak. What about you, sir? It's great to have you on board. You're always about, and keep me company if you're there. We've got Schmitty in position 3 at the moment on the table. Jeff Aboom, a blonde 5828. I don't think I've ever done commentary on blonde before, but you're very, very welcome here to PRF1. We've got Master Bear 5405. We've got ARC Kelly. We've got Dystopian, Slippery Salmon, DK, Master Spread, Mike Legend, Fuse Demon. Hi Gareth Minimad, it's GAVINBASS1 here, giving you a big shout out, and as always to your dad if he's watching. I know he's a big F1 fan, and I always like to give Dad a shout out. We've got Andrew Pip Smith. He never misses a race, one of my favourite drivers. Really good guy and tries very hard on track. I'm hoping that he has a good race tonight. Then we've got Memesis, we've got George, we've got AMS Trappy, and finally we have Linsky 88. And we're now in qualification 1, where it's vital to get that first good, solitary banking lap in. So, it's good to be back. And I'm not going to dwell on it, but apologies to all those drivers who raced their little hearts out. And to be honest with you, had an absolute fantastic race on Saturday night. But unfortunately, I was having serious technical issues, which meant the complete race was not covered. And to say the least, I spent the night in the coal bunker crying my eyes out with my 2 little poodles, feeling sorry for myself. But tonight's a new night, and GAVINBASS1 is a new man. So, here we go. It's Quali 1. And I'm going to jump on with ERC Jelly NL. I don't think I've ever been on board with this guy before, and you're very welcome, ERC Jelly NL. I don't know whether NL is for the Netherlands, but if you're from the Netherlands, hi from Northern Ireland. I hope you enjoy the stream later when you watch it back. But Jelly's driving the Alpine tonight, and he is out on his first lap, hoping to put a decent time in that will get him through to Q2. I must admit, I love Godwin. He just whacks in a 127.157 and sets the standard for us all. Godwin loves to get out there, gets his first lap in, and then we've got Linsky in at 127.7, and we've got Clem at 127.768. So not too much between the top 3 already, but I'm going to see this lap through on a Jelly and see how he goes. I think this possibly may be his opening race for this particular league. And if it is, he's more than welcome. So round that final left-hander. Gets that power on beautifully. And here he comes. Jelly puts in a 1:28.128, putting him in the 7th position at the moment. So he's just proved with only one lap that he ain't no slouch. Andrew P. Smith puts a 1:28.388 in, and Jeff Aboom a 1:28.606 as we ride on board with Schmitty. Schmitty is coasting, so let's see who else is out there. Dystopian just puts in a 1:27.131. Speed Freak 52 says, absolutely winding. What does that mean, sir? That's a new word. And we're in the Williams now of Master Spread. Lost his form for a while, Master Spread did. Then he came back beautifully there in a race we did last week. Then he struggled a little bit more, and he is one of the lads that I would always bank on being in a top 5. But he has just been struggling to get to grips with this new F1 25 game. So I'm going to ride on board with him, but while I'm doing that, Fuse has put in a lap of 1:28.168. Andrew Pip Smith 1:28.3, and Mike the Legend is 1:29.6. So all the banking laps are being put in. Master Spread settling himself down, slowing it all down, rightly so, and getting himself all prepared for this hot lap here in Miami. This is PRF1 Lauda Division, and I'm GAVINBASS1, and I'm excited to be here tonight. George puts in a 1:27.3. Slippery Salmon had a bit of a mare there, so he'll be going for another lap in that McLaren. And AMS Trappy a 1:27.4. And our legend in his own head, DK, has put in a 1:27.68. And another friend of mine, Gareth Minimad, a 1:27.5. So right now, anyone below P15 are vulnerable. Staying on board as Master Spread just goes through that tricky part of the course, and now he's full speed ahead, throttle to the floor into 8th gear, squeezing that ERS, and gets 202 miles per hour before 203 actually before he slams into this left-hander. Gets a little squirrely there. That lost him a tenth or two, I would say. But let's see what Master Spread's going to post. And he posts a 1:27.538, a very respectable opening lap here in Miami, US of A. Ooh, Master Spread. So on board with Schmitty. He's just coming down the final section of this lap, and he's slamming into the left-hander now. He takes a lot of the apex there, so he's going to get some nice... Oh, he's going to jump into the pits. He's just not happy with that. Well, he's posted a 1:28.451. Linsky puts a 1:27.9 in. So just look at that leaderboard on the first outing. 1:27.131 leads it. and 129.1 is Mike Legend in the Ferrari in 16th place, but I've seen him race many times and he will be improving on that, that's for sure. He must have made a little boo-boo out there. But we're on board with the new fella in my eyes. I think he's the first time driving here, and his name is Blonde 5828, and he's finishing off a lap, so he's now going to show PRF1 what he's got. Oh yeah, Blonde puts in a 127.185. Obviously a bit of a veteran to the game, no slouch whatsoever, and puts himself securely into P4 as George puts himself into P5. So all those guys from about P14, P12 down are not safe, but they've plenty of time to go out there and get themselves into Q2 here in Miami. On the Master Bear, he's in the Alpine, and he's getting himself through that squirrely part of the track now. Difficult part of the section, very technical. And I'm going to ride on board right to the very end of this lap with Master Bear. He needs to get himself something above 127. I would say if he can get in around about the mid-27s, he'll be safely into Q2. So let's see what he's got. 7 minutes to go here in Miami. Q1, GAVINBASS1, PRF1, and this is our Lauda division on a Tuesday evening. Speedbreak 52's chatting away to me here on Twitch. Speedbreak, do you race? And if so, what leagues do you race in? Always good to have you as a bit of company, sir. Oh, Master Bear makes a wee bit of a mistake there. I don't know whether he cost himself some track limits, but we're on with Nemesis. So I'm going to jump on with Nemesis and see what he can do. I hope I'm right in saying this is a full quali tonight. I can only presume so. I think it said that on the opening screen. But it normally draws a bar under P15 for the people that are struggling. I think maybe that comes with a few minutes to go. But right now, we're on with Nemesis. And he's on a lap and he goes outside track limits. And he's going to have to reset himself. So back on with Master Bear to see if this lap did stick. I'm not too sure if he got penalties or he's going to jump into the pits again. I have a feeling he's going to pit. Yeah, I'm right on that one. On with Andrew Pip. He's lining himself up for a fast lap here in this Haas. So slams it right into that right-hander. He's got traffic in front of him, and there's nice manners there. Pulls over to the left, lets him through. DK is in P9 now. So looks like those guys are just sitting patiently, and they don't want to use up too many tyres. But Andrew Pip is having a bit of a disaster here on this lap, and he just needs to settle himself down and concentrate and just focus on getting that car in the track limits. So Mike Legend puts in a 129.1 and he needs to improve in that, and Nemesis is just about to come over. He's used a lot of battery and he is not going to get a good lap with 6% of battery left with nearly half a circuit to go. So I have fears that Nemesis is not going to get a good lap in on this occasion. Godwin's decided to go out again to the looks of it. He's just given himself another practice lap. I dare say he's probably out on the worn tyres. Let's just see. No, he's having another bang. He wants to try and knock the stope in and off that P1. Slippery Salmon, Blonde and George are all happy with their lap, and they have retired in the pits, and they will get themselves settled down now for their Q2 efforts. Just going to do another little mic check here because I'm absolutely paranoid about that after Saturday. Hold on one sec. And it all seems to be working beautifully tonight. That's a good thing. Let's hope there's no technical issues here. We're still going strong, says Speed Freak. Quite a few watching us tonight, so I hope everybody's enjoying. And go ahead, send us a wee message and keep me busy. Anybody watching their loved ones driving tonight? Do any of the wives support their husbands? Do they watch? Slippery Salmon, we can hear you fine, mate. Thank you, Slippery. And good luck for the race, sir. You put in a real good banking lap there at 1:27.178. And I wish you a good, clean, safe race. And let's see you right up there, bud. Trappy's now happy with his lap. So we're looking at these guys from Andrew down. They're all in the drop zone at the moment. DK's decided to go out for another last lap just to be sure. A very Irish saying that. But from Andrew down, they're all in difficulties. So I'm going to jump on with those who are fighting. So riding on board with Andrew. Traffic ahead, I hope they know to pull over, or maybe they're on a hot lap themselves. Let's just see as this goes forward. We have a real special treat for you tonight, guys. And if you have your Twitch turned on, or you're watching it back later, I was very fortunate to have a pit walk today and got to meet Tom Cruise. And Tom Cruise had quite a bit to say about this league. And we also have a very short air show display by the PRF1 Blue Angels in their F-16 jets. And it's an incredible video and just shows you exactly what those display team pilots go through. But looks like Andrew's going to bin it. He's finished. So we're on with Jelly. And Jelly needs to improve. Although he's safe at the moment, but he is in the drop zone. So he wants to improve on that 128.1. I wonder will any of the 128s get through to P2 or Quali 2? We will see. And round this last left-hander. Master spread, so he goes into the pits. So he's taking a bit of a gamble. And we're on with Master Bear. He's trying his heart out. Here he comes. And he puts himself into P11. And for now secures himself a Quali 2 opportunity. So well done, Master Bear. You dug in, you got it done. So we're on with Schmitty. He's used an awful lot of battery. He hasn't left himself an awful lot, but when he goes around this technical part of the track, hopefully he will build something up to give him that final squirt. Mike Legend, left corner. going into the start-finish grid. This is a vital lap for Mike. He's driving the Ferrari this evening, and he needs to get into those 127s, early 128s. And it doesn't look like he's improved, so it might be the end of quali for Mike. So right now, as we see it, it looks like Schmitty might go down. Unless he can pull something brilliant out here. Let's see what Schmitty can do. No improvement. Right, here we go. It's Mike Legend's final opportunity to redeem himself and get himself through to Q2. Failing that, he is going to drop, and he's going to be watching the rest of the quali. So any of the drivers that drop down from P15 downwards and you're bored, jump on to Twitch, give me a bit of conversation, let me know how you found that. Where did you struggle? What happened? And give me some feedback. It's always good to report on it. So there you have it. Qualifying 1. DK in the Red Bull is 126.9. Brilliant lap from him, sir. Gareth, Dystopian, Godwin, Slippery Salmon, Blonde, Jorsh, Trappy, Master Spread, Linsky, Master Bear, Nemesis, Fuse Demon, Clemen, Andrew Schmidt, Andrew Pip Smith, and down we go is Schmitty, Jelly, and Mike Legend and Jeffaboom, and it's commiserations to those guys. So jump on the stream, guys, and give me a bit of feedback and let me know how you found that quali 1. Gaza 2005, come on. Yes, Gaza, come on. You can do it. Make Tom Cruise proud tonight. He came all the way over from his hometown to Miami and tweaked my setup a bit tonight thanks to my teammate P1Q1. See what I can cook. Yes, DK, what a good start for you, sir. And I wish you well in your quali too. But their display tonight in the break between the quali and the race took place at Miami Beach. Master Spread has left the session. I wonder, does Master Spread need another invite? Let's see what happens. If he needs another invite, I'll maybe try to do that, but I'm not too sure I have him on board. But back to Q2, and out goes Godwin. And he's keen to stamp his authority on this first opening lap of Quali 2 here in Miami, US of A. Nice to see Clem into Quali 2. If I can remember right, Clem didn't have a great last race. He was struggling a bit. He's the boss. He owns the league, and what a job he does with PRF1, with all the different divisions. And now we have an added division on a Saturday night full race. I'm the commentator for that on a Saturday night, as you know, because I was muted for last week's race, which was a disturbing situation for us all, especially after such a brilliant race that it was. So they're all out there. I'm going to ride on with Trappy. I think he's the first one on the circuit at the moment, and he's just coming round now to start his lap, and off he goes, flat to the mat. Hits his 197 miles per hour before he hits that right-hander. You can actually take a bit more of that curb. I'm sure Choppy knows that. But there he goes. Bangs it up into 7th. Sweeps around this left-hander. Takes a lot of the apex and that one. That's nice. That's steady. And that will be a really good entrance to this left-hander. Using a lot of ERS there to get as much top speed as he can before he hits that DRS zone. And he's now up into 8th gear, 199, 200 miles per hour. But that's as much as he can wring out of that Aston Martin this evening on that straight. So round the technical corners, thanks to the guy on the left in that what looked like a Red Bull, that might have been DK pulling over and letting the faster driver, not the faster, but the guy on his quali lap through. So here we go. This could be the first Q2 time of the evening, and Troppy's about to set it. (126.935) for Godwin. Troppy must have disqualified himself there, and Clem puts in a 128. Here comes the Red Bull of DK. He puts in a 128 also, and Nemesis puts in a 128. And we're on with Blonde. He's going through that technical, so we'll go on to Master Bear. He's getting ready for a lap. And Slippery Salmon's getting ready for his lap. He's jumping into the pits, actually. And now we're on with Spread. He's on a lap, so let's finish off the lap with Spread here and see what he can do. Traditionally one of the fastest guys in one of the leagues that I used to race for, so I'm expecting big things from Master Spread tonight. Nice and smooth. Sometimes it's hard to tell as a commentator what's going on. That looked a bit tentative around that corner, but he puts himself in P8 at the moment with a 129.4. I know Spread won't be happy with that. Jumping on board with the Red Bull of Linsky. He's finishing off his lap. Speed Freak says, is that what the issue was on Saturday? You muted yourself? No, I don't think it was that I muted myself. It actually muted the game and me. But every time I spoke, my name was flashing at the bottom as if it was definitely communicating, so don't know what went wrong. It just might have been down to internet speed, as Linsky just puts that Red Bull in to P3 with a very, very safe and secure 127.5. He'll jump into the pits and he'll probably put his feet up for just to see if anybody can threaten him. But right now, I don't think anybody is going to threaten 127s. It's the guys that are in the 128s. They're the guys that need to improve at this stage. So I'm on with Blonde, 5828. He's in the Mercedes and he's coming down the final stretch before this really heavy braking left-hander. Yeah, Gazzer smashed the wall. He's lucky to be in the session. Him himself admits that. Gareth, you need to just settle down. Don't be concentrating too much on Twitch right now. You get yourself focused and get yourself into Q3, sir. But Blonde has just put in a massive lap there of 126.8 in the Mercedes, and he has just thrown out the gauntlet to everybody else on the grid. And there, he's now saying, guys, come and catch me. Godwin 126.9 and Clem on a 127. So only two guys in the 126s and everybody else in the 127s down to Dystopian, who's on a 128. DK on a 128, George on 128s, and right down to Master Spread, who's a 129.4. So it's everybody below 10 is in the drop zone, and Slippery Salmon knows that. So he's just slowing all down here, and he's going to jump on to this, and he's going to give it full beans. Nothing wrong with his top speed there, 198 miles per hour before he dropped it down into third gear. He could ride those curbs much better, sir. You'll get a wee couple of tenths if you take them full on. That's beautiful. Takes those nice. Takes this corner as wide as he can. It's very easy to outbrake yourself there and end up on the hard shoulder on the right, but he didn't, and he's doing very well so far. Leaving himself lots of battery this time, and he's got 40% left, so he'll just back off. And once again, this league shows fantastic driving skills, great awareness and great manners for every track and every people, all the drivers on the track. It's great to see, and it does take a bit of time to build up that awareness, and we've all been there, we've all made the mistakes, but it's got to stick at some stage as we still stay on board with Slippery Salmon. The two McLarens tonight are in the drop zone, so I'm expecting Gareth to do something quite special in the last 5 minutes of this Grand Prix Quali 2, and I will ride on board with him when he jumps out there. But here we go. What's got Slippy? Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Slippy, you've done it. 127.2. You can go in and you can rest your legs, sir. Well done. That's fantastic. All eyes on everybody below P11. Andrew's in there with that 128. Hughes Demon's in there with a 128. Master Spread's in there with a 129. And Trappy is out there, and he's putting in his lap to try and secure his position in Q3. Beautifully round there. Trappy's driving the Aston Martin this evening. Oh yeah, that's a nice bit of skill round there, and keeps it in second gear. Sometimes I would try that one on third, but everybody's got their own style, and Trappy's fully on top of what he's doing here as he hits the DRS zone, and he pumps it right up to 209 miles per hour before he slams into this left-hander, and he gets the braking 100% right, takes the rumble strips on the left, and he takes this. This is going to be a good lap from Trappy, I reckon. Yes, it is. It puts him in P5, and Trappy will be delighted with that, and he too can go in and rest his legs for Q3. So I'm going to ride on board with Gareth Mini-Mad very shortly, because I want to see if he can get himself. But right on with Nemesis here. He's one of the guys in the drop zone at the moment. 205 miles per hour before he slams down into second gear round this left-hander. His fuel light's flashing, so I hope he hasn't robbed himself of fuel. Looks to be okay. The power seems to be on, so he's just judged it right, and he's put himself into P5, and he knocked Trappy down to P6 with a 127.247. So still only two guys with the 126s, and that's Blonde and Godwin. You two guys, take a bow. On Walensky. I think that 127.5 is going to be okay. It's hard to tell, but he's doing the right thing in this Red Bull. He's going out and he's going to try and secure a better position than P7, as is Master Bear. Dystopian all the way down, and DK is on an out lap, and DK will definitely want to sort something out here. Final corners for Master Spread. He's saving the battery going along there, so he wants a final squirt out of this. To me, it looks like Master Spread's grip is not good. I don't know whether it's a setup or not, but he won't care. He's just put in a 127.3, and that just might be enough to put himself into Q3. But it's all down to these guys. It's this guy Dystopian, it's this guy DK, and there's some very fast drivers in the drop zone at the moment, and anybody from P7 down to P10 will need to beware. Riding on with DK, the Scottish man that eats the haggis pasties. Nothing nicer than a good haggis pasty and a few bridies. Go ahead there, sir. I'm rooting for Gaza. He hit the wall. He's lucky to be in, so he needs to put in the lap of his life here. But I'm staying on with DK just to see what DK can do. He's going to put himself in the top 5 here by the looks of things. This is a confident looking lap. And yes, he does even better. He puts it in pole, provisional pole. And that's 126.5, which puts him king of the castle at the moment with 3 guys in the 126. But bouncing right down to Gareth Minimad. He's on his lap now. This is the lap of his life in PRF1 in Miami tonight. This is his last chance. Can you redeem yourself, Mr. Gareth? Slams on those brakes. Nice smooth entrance. Squeezes that ERS. He's trying to get the maximum out of that car, and he puts it in 4th. 127.0. Oh my God, Gareth, well done. That was a pressure lap if ever I've seen it. Final chance from Dystopian. Dystopian is a race winner, a league winner, and he does not normally be in P13. So he's in the Racing Bull, and he's just done what I thought would happen. He has put himself in to even better than he's just put in a 126.4, and he's just said to the guys, you know what? Dystopian's not struggling. Dystopian's sandbagging, and he's just proved it. Brilliant lap, Dystopian. Well done, sir. Take a bow. I'm just being told that there's a possibility of rain. But right now, at the moment, we're not worried about rain. We're worried about Master Spread, Linsky, Master Bear, Andrew Pip Smith, and Fuse Demon. And it looks to me, unfortunately, those 5 guys are going down. But they done very well. But there are names in there at the moment, Fuse Demon and Master Spread. I don't know too much about Linsky, Master Bear, and well, I know a bit about Andrew. But Master Spread and Fuse are a surprise. I thought they would have had the pace for Q1. So it's not all about quality, it's all about the race, and it's all about racecraft, and those guys have a lot of that. So there you have it. Dystopian, DK, Blonde, Godwin, Gareth Minimad, PRF1, Clem, Slippery Salmon, George, Nemesis, and Trappy. And I can tell you now that the Blue Angels are putting themselves in their cockpit and they're getting prepared for the air show in the break between the quali and the race, where we will meet Tom Cruise and we will also have some excellent piloting from the Blue PRF1 Blue Angels display team. And I hope you all enjoy that. The national anthem will also be played tonight, and obviously it's the USA national anthem, the old spangled tune. So we will be listening to that. So rain inbound in 5 to 10 minutes. So it looks like there's going to be a lot of people diving out here very, very quickly. And that would be a wise thing to do because this quali only lasts 12 minutes. And if there's rain bound in 5, you might be out there and I'd put your safe-ish lap in, fast, safe lap if it can be done. But look at them all bouncing out. They all know what's going on. Who have I not been on with tonight too much? I haven't been on too much with Josh. So I'm going to ride on board with Josh while I go and have a cigarette. And I'll be back very, very shortly to take you through the final lot of minutes of this qualifying 3 here in Miami. And I will give you some track facts just before it's over as well. See you very shortly and stay on board. In fact, you know what? I'll give you those track facts now and then I can smoke a little fag without any pressure. So, Miami is 5.412 kilometers long. It features 19 corners, and you can see what the qualifying times. The pit loss time in this particular track is about 19.9 seconds, and this includes an average stop time of about 2.5 seconds stationary in the pit box. Safety cars are quite probable tonight with a probability of a safety car of 67%. So that's nearly a 70% chance of a safety car, and there's about a 50% chance of a virtual safety car tonight. But I've been on with PRF1 for quite many weeks now, and up to now I can definitely say that they generally are a very courteous, cautious and clean drivers. So you never know, Miami might be safety car free and we are in for some very close and serious racing, as it has been most weeks up to now. So riding on board with Josh, and I'm just going to leave you for 2 seconds and have a quick smoke, and I'll be back very, very shortly. So I'm back. And I'm just going to check my volumes again because, again, I'm very paranoid. So I'm back. Yep, all seems to be working. Gazzer says, come on. P3, yes, you did. And that's the guy's first lap of the Quali 3 as the nerves are starting to really settle in and the big guns are going to have a shootout for the grid positions here in Miami. Godwin has a 126, Dystopian a 126.4, just a hundredth or less than a hundredth behind him. The rain has started. So what are the guys going to do? Are they going to go out on the inters? What's the point, really? They've put their laps in, and I think these laps that they're putting in will be their stickers. And I really do believe that anybody who has missed the boat has missed it. And this could end up the track positions for the race. Excuse me. They've all retired, and the top 5 have retired. And that top 5 is Godwin, Dystopian, Gareth, Trappy, and George. I can't see anybody getting anything better now that the rain has started. And you can see already that has started the spins already. I'm on the blonde at the moment, and he's probably frustrated that that rain came on at a terrible time for him. So all just retiring from the session by the looks of it. DK's gone out on an out lap, but really not an awful lot of point, DK, to be honest with you. It looks like you're in P9. You've timed it. Well, you didn't time it wrong. Your out lap just wasn't good enough this time. But as we all know, DK is quick off the mark. He's renowned to have very, very good anticipation times. And he's just going to retire off the circuit and we'll crack on. And we will probably just jump straight into the break before the race. So again, thanks to all of our viewers tonight. I'm really enjoying the fact that we've got quite a few viewers. That really makes it a good interaction for me. I love the chat on Twitch. I love the interaction. And it really does mean a lot, guys. Thanks very much for having a view tonight. Don't forget to give me a like and a follow on Twitch. And anytime I'm on live, please feel free to come on, no matter what league I'm commenting on. I do quite a few leagues during the week now, I think 3 or 4 in all. And Linsky has just given me a text and he said, come on, the Red Bull. So there you have it. It looks like the session's over. Everybody is pitting. So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let the drivers settle down and I'm just going to go and I'm going to go down to the recording that the PRF1 television crew were down this afternoon at the pits. And also I see what Tom Cruise had to say about this PRF1 league. I'm GAVINBASS1 and I'm just going to take a break while you enjoy the air show in between the break and the race. So enjoy.
Good evening, and what a pleasure to meet you, Gavin. I'm a 2-day break during the final shoot of Top Gun 3. I would like to wish all the drivers in PRF1 a safe and clean race. I just couldn't miss it. Please stand for the anthem of the USA.
blue, jet flames blaze, a trail of fire and diamond perfect view. Steel and will and sink, they fly like eagles born to soar. PRF1, one day on the sky. Legends we adore. Engines cry like battle drums. Hearts beat fast as thunder comes. A blur of blue, a streak of pride. With every roll they touch the sky. Wings of thunder, hearts of flame, chasing glory, earning names. From loop to dive, they dare it all. No fear, no doubt, they'll never fall. PRF1, they light the flame. The blue angels rise again. Precision from sweat and trust, they fly a breath apart. Each motion carved in discipline, a dance of soul and heart. The ground shakes with a sonic boom, a whisper through the air. Every twist and every climb, you feel them everywhere. Grace in speed and might in grace, they carve their names across this place. In diamond wings, the dream survives. With every flight, the spirit thrives. Wings of thunder, hearts of flame, chasing glory, earning names. From loop to dive, they dare it all. No fear, no doubt, they'll never fall. PRF1, they light the flame. The blue angels rise again. Crowds below, lifted eyes, feel the rush as they defy gravity. With every spin, they remind us final. Wings of thunder, hearts of flame, legends carved in sky and name. With trails of smoke, they write their song where courage lands and hearts belong. PRF1, we call your name. The blue angels arise again.
Keep moving, guys.
So there you have it. Those were the Blue Angels doing a display for the PRF1 Lauda division here on a Tuesday night. And Jeff Aboom has left the session. Oh, a lot of people have left the session. I need another invite by the looks of things. It looks like my internet may have dropped. I'm not too sure. So there you have it. Those were the Blue Angels doing a display for the PR. I don't know, DK, what's happening. Everybody is leaving. I thought it was me dropping the internet. I'm just going to try and go on to Discord and see what's happening. Is there any chat on PRF1? Gosh, I can never get that right. Drivers chat. Oh, great. Let's see right down. Josh, great game. What's happening, lads? Is anybody listening? Tell me what's going on. Are you resetting the grid? Has somebody got a penalty? Yeah, it looks like for once it's not my internet. It looks like the guys are resetting the grid. I don't know whether they are wanting to have a dry race or they are maybe rearranging the grid because of penalties from last week, but nothing that I'm aware of. Just waiting on my invite, and then we will be off. And there it is. Dystopian's right on time, as always. Gaza says, I believe we are going to set it on random. I think it's the most fair. Why would that be fair? Anybody who didn't get out quick enough to get that lap done, it was their own fault. Just saying, just trying to understand. But just while the game's readying up again, I'm just going to stick. So, guys, I'm just putting the grid, the constructor's grid and the driver's grid up as the guys get the grid sorted out for the start of this race in Miami. Oh, Gazer, you mean the weather, not the drivers? Yeah, random weather. Yeah. Yeah, that would be sensible. Maybe one of the lads who set the lobby up just didn't get it. Maybe forgot to press dynamic. So, Gavin, I believe they're setting it to light, heavy, light. So, full wet race here in Miami. Is that what the forecast was given, Gaz, on the quali laps? You know, where you can see what the prediction for the race is. Was it giving the wet for the rain for the race? Was it? 'Cause- 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 In the meantime, I'm just going to pop up those grids again, just kill a bit of time. So that's me back live on stage, and just going back to the air display there by the Blue Angels, the US Air Force, a display team. I myself was a private pilot for about 7 years and had the pleasure of doing about 1,000 hours flying myself. So I have a real appreciation for aviation, but now I just have to do it through a flight simulator. And because I've lost my pilot's license due to ill health, and the doctor wouldn't renew my license for me. But I have a real appreciation for what those guys do. They're flying F-16 fighter aircraft, and they're flying within about 10 inches of each other at Mach 2. That's nearly twice the speed of sound sometimes those guys are flying at. There's a fantastic documentary on Netflix about them, and I would highly advise that you would watch it. It just gives you a real insight into what those guys go through. A lot of them lose their lives, and they are really, really superb guys and disciplined to the absolute hilt. So can you just imagine flying at nearly Mach 2 within 10 inches of each other and doing spiral turns all at one time and making sure that those wingtips don't touch each other? They're pulling gravity at such a rate where they actually, at the top of some of their maneuvers, they grey out. And that's whenever the blood rushes out of the brain and then it then comes back into the brain. So at the top of their turns, they really are slightly out of control of the aircraft, but they have themselves very, very highly trained to then get back into the groove and pull that maneuver off successfully. So can you just imagine that you're flying at the speed of sound and you're losing your consciousness and then regaining it again? I just think it's incredible for what those guys do. But the air show's over and we're in a very wet Miami, and it looks like we're going to have a full wet race. So this could call for some very, very accurate driving tonight here in Miami with our Lauda division and its PRF1. let's have a good race tonight, guys. Hope you really enjoy it. I'm not a big fan of the rain, purely because I just don't practice enough in the rain. And then when it comes, I just get very, very nervous. I don't know what way PRF1 work, but a lot of the leagues that I race in and a lot of the leagues that I do commentary on, they insist that you go out in the rain in the setup that you had in your quali. The only thing you can adjust normally is your tire pressures, your tires, and your wing settings. So I'm not too sure. I haven't really read the rules completely for PRF1, but I'm not too sure if they allow you to adjust to a full wet setup in between the race and the quali. So that's an interesting one, and one that I put out for question, and maybe somebody in the admin can just put me right on that for future streams. So I don't know whether I'll be doing commentary on lads that are racing here with a full dry setup, or whether they have been allowed to tweak things and then put their wet setups in. That's a question I would love answered, and interesting to say the least. But the guys are on the grid. They are making their final adjustments to their fuel. Now that it's wet, they can probably reduce that fuel right down, because wet conditions is not just as heavy on the fuel as what dry is. So their job is to make sure that the fuel tank in their F1 car at the end of this race is running close to empty, but not that close that they run out of fuel or have to nurse their fuel during the race. So a lot of people just call this a game. It's far from a game. I keep going on about it. It's a competitive sport. These lads spend hours during the week practicing to try and be the best they can be. And they don't take kindly to anybody that messes about and causes havoc for any unnecessary reason. So, yeah, it's very, very competitive, and it means a lot to these guys to get a podium this evening. So, respect at all times, care at all times, and awareness at all times is something that takes a long time to get your head round. But once you get it, you then become a good F1 racer, despite of your qualifying pace. So off they go. It's the formation lap. So they've all been to the loo. The cleaning companies have been in there. They've topped up the loos with toilet roll. Everybody's definitely got themselves sorted out. They're in the zone, and they're on the intermediates mostly here by the looks of things. Let's have a look and see what they're all running. Everybody's running intermediate tires, and if anybody has the time or can just pop on and let me know, is this going to be a full wet race, do you reckon, or will it dry up at any stage? Doesn't really matter if you let me know, because that makes it a bit more exciting anyway for me. But for those all watching or new to the stream, we're in Miami. We're with PRF1, and we're on the formation lap for the Miami Grand Prix here in round 2 of the new season in the Lauda division. And you can see clearly that the guys are already struggling for grip, but it just looks like light rain. So whenever you have rain on an F1 track, that means one thing, and that means one thing only, and that means there's no DRS. So you're relying heavily on your battery and your ERS. So the management is vital here, and that you don't explode that battery too early on, and that you manage it, and you settle into a very, very steady pace and see how it goes. So I'm riding on board with Gareth Minimad, who has put himself in P3 as they all get themselves into the grid. Let's see what their parking abilities are like. It looks like everybody up to now has parked successfully. We're just waiting on the lights to turn. Oh, Jeffaboom makes a wee boo-boo, Jelly makes a boo-boo, and Schmitty makes a boo-boo. Take a bow, lads. It's a rookie mistake. That gives you a little disadvantage. You're a little further back than you want to be, and also I think it adjusts your tyres. But here we go. Miami, PRF1, Lauda division. So 5 green lights. Go, 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 go. And we're on with Gareth. And just look at this. I'm going to tap right down. Just make sure that there's no incidents in turn 1. And there's Williams. Just got a wee bit of a clip there. But everybody looks as if they're successfully round. And this looks like a clean start here in Miami. And that's great to see. Right now, at this moment in time, we don't have anyone off the track. That is credit to every single driver out here on track, and well done for such a great start. But AMS Godwin, he's right up there at the beginning. There's your possible strategies. It's going to be enter, or it's going to be enter. So it's a 1-stop or a 2-stop. I've got a feeling that these guys are going to stretch this out onto a 1-stop if they can. But riding on with Dystopian, he's in P2 and he's going to chase Godwin down. But we've got a caution already. And why is it a caution? It's a caution because Andrew P. Smith has had a bit of an accident. I missed that one, but he's right down at the back of the grid. Let's just see if Andrew's got any damage. Yes, he's lost his front wing, so Andrew will be the first person into the pits. I don't know whether there's been enough carbon on the track to cause a safety car. But Andrew's going to go into those pits, that's for certain. And he's going to have to get a complete front wing on here. And I don't know whether this is a safety car or not. Sometimes the game is not very good at letting you know. But the Ferrari at the front of Godwin, he has just slowed completely down. And is he going back to race speed, or is there a safety car? It looks like they're back to race speed, and Godwin goes. It's still a yellow flag, so they're still under caution. So nobody is allowed to overtake while that yellow flag is flying. And if they do, they will be heavily penalised. So look at them, they're all forming an orderly queue. And it's interesting now to see exactly what happens next. Andrew's in the pits and he sticks on another set of inters, and he also gets a new wing. So he's right back there now, and he's got himself a disadvantage. But I'm busting to see if this is a safety car, and it is. It's the first safety car of the evening here, lap 2 at Miami out of lap 29 of the race. So that was an unfortunate situation. I don't think there was any other driver involved. I think it was driver error. And poor Andrew has now found himself, well, he's still very much in the race and he's going to still be very much with the bunch. But anyway, it hasn't really caused much of a difference to the drivers. Nobody's going to be upset with that, really. It happens. And Godwin's just given the safety car a wee fucking run for its money there. Godwin, you need to back off, buddy. Don't be passing him. So they're going to have to wait on Andrew catching the pack, so it might have to go into one further lap. And they're all waving now to keep some sort of heat in the tyres. Penalty free at the moment. Andrew's the only person to have made a stop, and the only position change really is Master Bear, and he's got a 3-second upwards position. He's come from P13 into P10, so he's made a couple of nice moves in the first 2 laps. DK's got himself up 2 places, and a few others are up 1, but the biggest loser so far in this race tonight is Andrew P. Smith. Everybody else is pretty much where they were, bar 1 or 2 spots. So the rain causing havoc already here in Miami. And we're just waiting then to see if this safety car does another lap. And it seems to. There are all sorts of drivers on this grid this evening. There are drivers that use a wheel. There are drivers that use a pad. There are drivers that use assists. There are drivers that use no assists. There are drivers that drive with no racing line on. And for those that are assists and they're not using assists, they are up against it this evening, and their skills will be very much tested as they try to gather grip on this wet Miami track going into a lap 3 under the safety car here in Miami. So safety cars in this lap, and we're going to be riding on board with Godwin. He's got Dystopian, Trappy, Gareth Minimad, Josh, Blonde, DK, Slippery Salmon and Clem and Master Bear, top 10 right behind him. And this is going to be an exciting start. So Godwin has the role of the starter. And he won't make it easy for these guys. He will try and catch them sleeping some way or another. He'll probably put them into a slow weave, just to try and distract the ones behind. He's away, and off he goes. He caught me by surprise, so I can only believe that he caught everybody else by surprise, and he gets a good start. And I'm just round the corners here, and I'm trying furiously to make sure that everybody is clean. And a wee bit of touchy-feely between the kick there and the, what I think might have been the Mercedes. Just heading on down back the grid, and it seems to be a clean restart here. So quite a battle going on here as we have top 4 drivers all together, and then there's a little separation right back to Josh. But Josh is catching that up quite quickly, and he's got himself back in the tow. And he's got DK right behind him. And I'm just going to ride on board with DK to see if he makes this move. Many a guy would have slipped up the inside there, but it's a very, very, very dangerous move. It can work very well for you, but you need to be overconfident and you need to make sure that you don't cause havoc. So DK done the right thing in that situation, and he backed off, and he's going to wait for a position in track where he can make a pass much more safely. So good driving from DK there, and I'm going to ride on board with Gareth, and he's chasing down in that McLaren the Aston Martin of AMS Trappy. All driving very gingerly. These guys are just trying to get themselves into a rhythm. They're trying to feel for the track as Godwin puts in the fastest lap of 1:39.954 on the intermediates here. Wee bit of changing going on here in the Williams. We're on McClem, and he's trapping down this Master Bear in the Alpine, and he's going to try and make a move, and he needs to leave him room. He's not really leaving much room. Clem's just been closed off. Good bit of defence there by the Alpine. Clem, you can't complain too much about that because I've seen you do it many a time. You're a really good defensive driver. So keep that concentration going there, boss, and have a great race. Down to Nemesis, he's right on Clem's tail. Linsky's right on the tail of Nemesis, and Master Spread's right there in the Williams behind the Red Bull of Linsky. And you know what? Fuse Demon's there too, and then just behind him, but there's a 1.6 second gap down to Schmitty, who has Mike Legend on his tail. So lots of little separate battles going on here that should be making for a very, very exciting Grand Prix. I must say, I would love it to dry up, but let's just see how it goes. The game was certainly saying that it's going to be intermediates, so that definitely does suggest that it's going to be a wet race for the full 29 laps. Lap 5 of 29 right now. We're on board with Josh and AMS Godwin, and he is absolutely cooking here, as he always does. He's pulled away by 1.2 seconds, so he's trying hard to keep himself in the front, but there's no DRS aids here, so it's down to driver ability and management of ERS, and we're on with Dystopian, and the guy that you wouldn't want on your tail is right on board now. Dystopian will be tracking him down, and Dystopian will catch him. That is for absolute certain. Trappy's on his box in the Aston Martin, and then we're down to Gareth, who has unfortunately dropped down by nearly 3 seconds. He's separated now from Blonde at 1.67 seconds. Josh is a second behind that, but DK is on the move, and I'm just going to stay on board with my Scottish friend. Don't care what anybody says, you can be fast in time trial, you can be fast in quali, but this what sorts out the men from the boys. The rain is where your skills are tested to the utmost. Back on with Clem. Clem's going to have another go here. Does he have the pace? I would very much doubt it. But look at that Red Bull of Linsky. Linsky takes him and makes a very clean move. And we're just going to stay on Linsky as he takes that left-hander. He's right on the tail of this McLaren. And he's moving quickly. The McLaren makes this. Can he make this stick? And he does. His reaction time was brilliant. And Linsky does what every driver just dreams of. He makes the position after the mistake. And that was a class bit of driving and some anticipation to pull that move off. Well done, Linsky. Take a bow, sir. Jeff Aboom's been in the pits. I don't know why, but it looks like he is in the pits and he has had some sort of change, whether it was a wing or whether it was another set of tyres. But I'm not too sure those tyres would have worn out in 7 laps, so I can only presume he's picked up some sort of a damage on way. But there we go. What I said would happen has happened. I'm starting to get to know the habits of these drivers, and I know what their abilities are, and Dystopian has delivered exactly what I said he would do. And what Dystopian will do here, he will play the game, and he will just keep putting Godwin under constant pressure, and he will wait like a greyhound after a rabbit for Godwin to make the wrong move, and Dystopian will just rush past him and he will take the lead of this Grand Prix. I've watched him often enough, I know what he's doing, he knows what he's doing, and I'm looking forward to watching it happen. That Aston Martin, the Trappy, he's right in it. Back to Blonde, and he's chasing down Gareth in the McLaren. And he's now getting himself into a position where he's going to be competitive with the McLaren. And he's right back on it. And he's going to, in a very short period of time, be in a race with Gareth Minimad. And it's going to be Mercedes versus the McLaren. Good clean racing here, and we're now in lap 8 of 29, and it's all down to driver skill and strategies now. Who are going to be the first person to dive in? Does the rain ease off? Do we need full wets? Do we go on to hards? Do we go on to softs? It's just a no man's no game at the moment. But look at DK. DK's close, and he's wanting that 6th place, and he's going to fight so hard. But I'll tell you what, that Kick Sauber and the driver in there called Josh is no slouch, and DK ain't going to make this an easy meal by any means, but he's definitely in the right position There's those mistakes starting to happen, and those are the mistakes that you're just waiting to see, and you just want to get the anticipation. DK's right there. Can he show us some sort of brilliance? He's going to squeeze the ERS now, and I'm just going to stick that telemetry on. He's only got 21% of battery. So DK, you would be better just harvesting for a while, gathering that up and giving yourself some strength to make moves. But right now, it looks like you need it all just to stay on the back. Nice bit of late braking there. I'm sure you just had a little nervous moment there. But look at Master Spread. Master Spread's in P12 and he's in that Williams and he's right on the box of Slippery Salmon. And Master Spread is a bit of a veteran at this game and he will know what it's like to race in the rain. Don't really know too much about Slippery Salmon, but I'm sure he's something very similar. So the competitiveness here between drivers is just very, very, very equal in a lot of ways. This is all down to race pace and this is all down to drivability. And this will be the proof of the best driver of the evening, no matter what. But the 3 leaders have now pulled away a 4-second gap in this Grand Prix in Miami. So they're having it all to themselves right now. So they're hoping that there's no safety car incidents and they're hoping that they can get a bit of a rush on at the front to stop anybody else coming up anywhere near them. And Gareth Minimad's in that 4th position, 4.5 seconds behind the guys, and he has his work cut out for him. But I dare say at the end of the race, if he can stay in P4, he will take that. Looks like DK's had an incident. DK has dropped away down the grid. Oh, DK's had a stop, that's why. He's been in and he has put a set of tyres on. He's gone to full wets. Now, that's either a master move or that's an unwise move. The track does seem to have a very clear racing line, and that might just eat up those wet tyres if this rain continues to be sort of light to heavy. I'm not too sure it's the right thing to do to put the wets on, but every driver makes their own decision. I'm no expert. It's only my humble opinion, but I reckon the intermediates can last a little longer. But DK might have made a masterstroke here, and time will tell. Nemesis done the same thing, so maybe the guys are seeing something completely different outside the cockpit window. Jelly gets the first warning of the evening, and that's a 3-second penalty to ERC Jelly. And he will be annoyed at himself for that, but it does happen. So don't lose any faith and just keep her lit. Bouncing on now to Blonde. He's in P5 and he's chasing down the McLaren of Gareth. And there's a good wee race going on here, as there is in the front. So he lost a wee bit of grip there and he's just lost a wee bit of time. So he's not going to make a move there. But Dystopian's doing the old Dystopian move. He's going out, he's showing himself in the left-hand mirror of that Ferrari of Godwin, and he's just saying, as usual, nearly like every race, Godwin, hiya, I'm still here. I'm going to try and force your pace, and I'm going to wait for your mistake, and then I'm going to make that move. Such a clever racer, such a smooth racer, and definitely, I say it every week, he's one of my favourite racers. And he sets a very, very good example out there on track. Keep her lit, Dystopian. Rooting for you, buddy. Let's have a quick look at the position changes now. There you have it. The biggest winner at the moment's Master Bear in 7, and he's gained 6 positions in the wet. And Mike Legend has gained 5 positions in the wet, and Jelly has gained 3 positions. Our biggest loser right now on track is DK, but he's had a tyre change, so that's not really relevant. But that 6 position change for Master Bear is very relevant, and to gain 6 positions in the wet is nothing short of brilliant driving So Master Bear, if you're watching this back and if you're listening, take a bow, sir. That is a fantastic achievement and well done. Keep it going. But I'm on with Dystopian, Mr. Patience himself. He'll grind you down. He'll make you make a mistake. But you know what? AMS Godwin is another one of these very, very, very experienced drivers, and he ain't going to make a mistake too easily. But there he goes into the pits. He's decided to go on the full wets here. I'm just going to have a look here to see what Godwin does. This is an interesting move. One of the most experienced and one of the most fastest guys in this league. So I'm going to believe what he has done is going to be the move that should be right. And yes, he has put a set of full wets on. So there you go. The rain is most definitely getting heavier. Godwin has taken the leap of faith and he has put on those wet tyres, as everybody else are going to have to struggle away and make that decision very shortly, because they're all on 11 lap old intermediate tyres. So really interesting times, really interesting strategy here in Miami. So Trappy is now going to be in P2 and he's chasing down Dystopian. And I hope Trappy has the same sort of attitude on track as Dystopian does, and that is put him back under pressure the way he did with everybody else. Stay on his tail, make him make the mistake, and then go for it. Oh, Dystopian's starting to get a wee bit slidey. I would be very, very surprised if Dystopian doesn't come in and change those tyres, because the guys in the wets will start to make some very good progress. I'm just watching Godwin's time, and he's sitting behind Linsky in the Red Bull. Linsky's in the 11 lap old hards, and he's pulling away at the moment from Godwin. 3.9 seconds. Josh has jumped into the pits. Oh, squirrely round there is that that Ferrari of Godwin's. So those wet tyres are just trying to get as much grip as they possibly can. And you know what? Watch these guys. They're going to start driving in the wet parts of the track. Get the full traction and speed that they can out of these full wets in Miami. This is the PRF1 league. It's the Lauda division, and we're in Miami and it's raining. I'm GAVINBASS1, and this is a fabulous race tonight. So riding on Strappy again, this is the top two. These are your leaders this evening. Blonde's doing quite a good job, and Gareth Minimad is catching Blonde. So there's all sorts of little races shaping up, but I'm going to bounce on to Fuse Demon here in P9, because he's in this Racing Bull and he's having a right old battle now with Master Spread. But there's a caution. Who's had the off? Not too sure where that caution came from. Is it just a yellow flag? Is it a safety car? Is it a virtual safety car? I don't even know. Just checking the wings here as much as I possibly can to see if anybody's damaged. No damage there. Oh, that McLaren, Slippery Salmon's got an end plate off. So Slippery's going to have to come in to the pits. Let's just check that it was him. He's going to struggle with that end plate off. It'll not affect his straight line pace too much, but it'll probably affect his left hand turn. So he's going to have to be extra careful going into the left hand corners. The aerodynamics have been really changed with that, and his times will not be good until he changes that. Bit of a battle going on there. That Aston Martin in the inside of that Racing Bull. That's a ballsy move there from Blonde. Blonde and Trappe are right at it. Obviously back to racing speed. But look behind. So here comes the Aston Martin. He's fighting with Dystopian, but look at the grip issues. Dystopian goes right out onto that wet area. Wonder will he keep it in that wet area? He's still on the intermediates. He's been known to let tires last for a very long time. So he's gone for the gamble and he's kept it on. Master Bird, 10-second penalty, speeding in the pit lane. Master Bear will be very, very, very pissed at that, that's for sure, as he was going in to get his full wets on. I wish the game would sort that out, but it's showing a caution, and I know there's not a caution. Oh, he's just lost control. That Aston Martin clipped. Did he lose an end plate there? He was very lucky not to. But Trappe's obviously riding with very little assists or no assists because the grip of that car just went from under him. So he's going to have to settle down and just shake that little moment off and get right back into the patience again. Very, very, very little close battles going on now. Lap 15 of 29. Nobody's within a second of each other going down the grid. There's big separation going on. And they're all forming a bit of an orderly queue. But Dystopian has taken the lead as usual, and he's riding a very, very sensible game. Godwin's one lad that did change onto the wets, and he's in P6. And you know what? When Dystopian decides to make a change of tyres, there's going to be quite a change, and Dystopian will have a bit of work cut out for him. So how long is he going to stay on these intermediate tyres for? Does he know something about the weather? Is he trying to stretch them out until the dry track comes? Will there be a dry track? GAVINBASS doesn't know, and GAVINBASS is winging it. So the drivers will know, and they may just have a plan up their sleeve. DK has jumped into the pits again. He's having a bit of an irrational sort of a night. I think he's been torn between strategies and he hasn't been really sure what to do. But he has obviously looked at the track and he said to himself, I wonder, is it time to go on those intermediates again? Because those wets maybe just weren't doing his job. And he's going into the pit again. Oh, DK. 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane and also losing your front end plate. DK's having a nightmare, and I wouldn't be surprised if he retires. He might just retire. Nemesis has retired. DK serving the penalty, and he goes on like a warrior. Oh no, he's not. He has DNF'd. So DK has retired in the pits after a little bit of indecisiveness, and then during that he then clips the entrance and gets himself a 10-second penalty. So his car's going back on the track for some reason, but he's going to be ghosting. I don't know what happened there, DK, but anyway, you're on track and you're ghosting in my stream. But anyway, buddy, sorry to see that the race was no success for you this evening, and you will be cross and you will be concerned now, especially for your points on the leaderboard going forward. But it's all change. Dystopian has decided to go on to another set of intermediates, and doing so, he has kept himself in 4th position, while Godwin decided to go on to the wets. Now, the first 3 guys are Trappe, Blonde and Linsky. and they're all riding on board 16-lap-old intermediates. So they are probably going to just bounce in and get themselves another set of intermediates. But right now, I'm just going to go on to broadcast mode and AMS Trappy. And I know it's lap 17 of 29, but Gavin Bass needs a cup of coffee and Gavin Bass needs a little cigarette. So I'm just going to leave you on broadcast mode and I'll be back with you real soon. Hope you're enjoying the stream, and remember, this is PRF1 Lauda Division Tuesday night here in Miami in the rain. So I'm right back with you. I've got a little double espresso as always. So 2 DNFs so far. That's DK and Nemesis. They've called it the day. And they've decided just that it's had enough, so they've retired. I wonder, is DK still showing on track? He's not. Thankfully, his car's disappeared. That's great. He did retire in the pits. Well done, DK. But have we any battles going on? Yes, we have. We've got a battle with Master Fred in P9, and I'm just going to bounce down to Master Fred in P9, and he's on the back of George in that Kick Saba. Master Fred driving the Williams. He's got nobody behind him, so he doesn't have to worry about anybody threatening him. So he can just concentrate on making the move here. Can he do it? He rides a fair wee bit of that curb. He takes that one as well. That's confident driving from Spreader. Up to now, this has been a very clean race that I have seen. I didn't see any incidents that I reckon the stewards are going to have a very good sleep tonight. But here comes Master Spread on the inside, and he's going to deploy everything, but he just gets cut off there by the kick, and that's good defensive racing. But Master Spread makes it in the outside, and he just gets that position 8 and puts George behind him with what I believe was a beautiful anticipated move and a well-deserved 8th place at this moment in time. Just going on to the stops. Everybody's had their stops. Andrews had 2, and Clem's had 2. Schmitty's had 2, and Jeff Aboom has had 2. So those 3 guys are on a 2-stopper at the moment. But Lond is chasing down the 2 leaders now. Or sorry, he's chasing down for P2, and he's up against Trappy. And look at this. Look at this. 3 wide going into this right hand, and 3 into 1 don't count. But they're making it work. And that Ferrari's getting squeezed out ever so slightly, and the Mercedes is holding it. And Blonde is trying his best to defend, but loses it to the Aston Martin of Trappy. And Trappy's put himself back into P2. That was some very close racing. But in the outside there, little love tap there for the Aston Martin. Another one. Wee bits of tapping going on there. That's okay. That's okay. It's wet and it's expected, but look at the traction problems that Aston Martin's having as the Ferrari goes on the outside. Oh my goodness gracious, this is very, very close, and this is tight racing, wheel to wheel. Oh no! We've had an accident. That is dreadful, and it looks like those 2 guys have just absolutely shattered their chances of a win here tonight in Miami. Now that was a steward incident, and I reckon that is something that will be ticketed and looked at, and the stewards can make their decisions on who was at fault. I am not here to commentate on those things. That's what stewards are for. All I can do is try and pick up on them, and that one certainly was there for everybody to look back on. Linsky P7, Red Bull, and he's chasing down that Aston Martin of Trappy. Let's just have a look to see if there's any damage there. But that incident has put George out of the race. So that kick Saba of George, he's out of the race. He's DNF. It hasn't cost a safety car, so it mustn't have been too much damage. That Ferrari's going into the pits of Godwin. Why is he going into the pits? Is it a tyre change? Or what is it? Let's just ride on board with him to see what's going on. Oh, he's lost an end plate, so he's having to replace the front wing. So Godwin was involved in that crash, and Godwin has had to pay the ultimate penalty for that. Sorry to see that, Godwin. Sorry to see that, sir. But Linsky's still squeezing here, and he's in the Red Bull, and he's chasing down the Aston Martin. Look how he's managing the throttle round that corner. That was nicely done. Keeps that traction firmly on the tarmac, and down he goes into the wet area of the track, using every piece of that wetness to keep the trip. That's clean and sensible stuff coming from Linsky in this Red Bull car here in Miami tonight. Nice little bit of braking there. He keeps himself right on the gearbox of the Aston Martin. And the Aston Martin's slow round there. You can see that Red Bull's chomping. But they're all back onto the intermediates again. So that heavy rain's backed off, and we're now just in light rain shower. So let's see what happens. Lap 22 of laps 29, and Dystopian has just put in the fastest lap of the race at a 1:39. Take a bow, sir. 1:39.7. So he's cooking on gas, and that is reflected on the intervals. Look at him, he's got a 7.5 second lead. So Dystopian has time to call in at the ice cream shop. He's going to get himself a whippy and he's going to stick a flake in it, wee bit of raspberry sauce, and he's going to say to himself, yeah, I'll get a bag of jelly babies as well, because I'm right out front and I'm going to have a Sunday drive now, and if I can stay out there, I'm going to have a really, really, really easy win. Master Bear still has that 10-second penalty to serve, and that is going to put him out of the rankings completely. Because look at the guys behind them, they're at 1.4 right down to 6.8. 7th position is Master Fred, and he is having a fairly decent race. Patience always pays off, and Master Fred is another master of patience. But look who's in P3, my little friend, Gareth Minimad. He'll be having a big smile on that face. I think he's from Wales, I'm not too sure. He might be Welsh, I'm not 100% sure. But he's doing his very, very best to reel this blonde in. Down to Mike Legend. Look at this little battle here. He's in P11 at the moment in the Ferrari. What pace has he got up here? Doing a nice little bit of short shifting, which is the right thing to do in the rain, getting that grip down. He's showing quite a lot of pace here. And he gets back onto the gearbox of the Alpine of Jelly quite easily. Lovely bit of lake braking, and I can see this Ferrari taking P10 quite shortly, because it's obvious the pace is there and he's going to use it. Takes the outside line. He's only got 20% of battery, so he's just going to have to build a wee bit more, and he's going to have to be patient too. But I'm going to stay on board with this little battle. Jelly, Alpine, or Jelly in the Ferrari, Jelly in the Alpine, Godwin in the Ferrari, and Mike Legend in the Ferrari. So Jelly is the jelly in the sandwich. The very famous sandwich of our famous Elvis Presley. He likes his jelly and peanut butter. And this moment in time, Eric Jelly is the filling in this Alpine or Ferrari sandwich. Yes, they call me the Mad Irishman, and I am mad. Don't care, love it. Ferrari's going for an outside move, trying to switch back there. Mike Legend's trying very, very hard to get this P10 place secured and get himself some very, very valuable points in this PRF1 Lauda Division Championship. And here we go. This is where he might have the pace. He's only got 29% of the battery. Jelly's got only 8% of battery. So I think this Ferrari just might make the move. No, he's not. He can't do it. He goes for an inside move, lake brake, and he makes it work very well. The Alpine gives him space. And yes, that Ferrari of Mike Legend is trying, and that, oh, wow, in goes the, an outside move here. Inside move, outside move, wheel to wheel, and it's battle, 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 battle for these four guys. This is a good race, and this is good watching. Well done, guys, keeping it clean and giving each other space. But look at that Eric Jellyman. He's no longer the jelly in the sandwich. He is now the bottom heel, and he has now got two Ferraris in front of them. And Godwin Sensible and Slippery Salmon is in front of that by 12 seconds. Fastest lap by Dystopian at 1:39.6. So all that clean air and freedom out there at the front. He's just running away with this Grand Prix here in Miami, lap 26 and 29. These Ferraris are trying very, very hard to get this McLaren sorted, and they're going to work well as a team. Mike Legend and Godwin are two really good drivers, and they will work together, and they will try and get that momentum up and up and up to get back on the gearbox of this McLaren. And the only way you could describe Slippery Salmon at the moment is very slippery and very vulnerable. Godwin puts in a 1:39.447, so Godwin holds the fastest lap of the race so far. But this is exciting here. There's nothing really to... Well, Clem's having a go in P12. He's on the back of another little race, and he's after the Jelly Man. So Clem's right in there, P12. Well done, Clem. Lovely bit of late braking there. He stays firmly on the back of Jelly, and he's going to try and make the move, and he's going to try and get himself right behind these Ferraris. Can he make it here? He can, and he takes him in the outside, and he makes that stick, or does he? Yes, he does, and off goes Clem. That was a very, very skilled move and pulled off brilliantly. Well done, Clem. Clem will pull away now because I think he has pace, so I expect Clem to start to track down. Well, he's not going to track down Mike Legend because he's 21 seconds behind him. So poor Clem's going to be all out in his own, but he does have a battle. He's now only holding 5% in his battery. I got that wrong, actually. It looks like he's only 2 seconds behind the Ferrari of Mike Legend. Sorry, I was reading that wrong. So Clem's right in it. But on his back is Jelly. Jelly, they're all struggling to keep any battery level whatsoever because this pace is so frightening. They're having to use every inch of it just to stay in the race and stay competitive with the drivers in front of them. On with Godwin. He's wanting to make a move here, so let's have a look and see what Godwin can do. That rain seems to be easing off, and that seems to be a little, well, not a little, but a very, very obvious dry line on the track now. Oh, inside he goes, and the McLaren made a slight bit of mistake, and Godwin just pounces on him, and Godwin does what Godwin does. He firmly takes that place, but look at the McLaren. He's not taking it too kindly, and he's having a move in the inside. Have a look at this, and the McLaren and the Ferrari are absolutely blasting, and well done, Slippery Salmon. What a move to you, sir, and a great bit of fit. Oh, Slippy loses it on the brakes, and Godwin gets an easy position change there. Salmon will not be happy with that whatsoever after such a wonderful move to get himself up into P8, but he's just lost it again, and he needs to refocus and rejig, but he's losing a lot of traction out there. He's just unsettled himself, and he needs to focus again and get back on the box of this Ferrari car of Godwin. Andrew P. Smith, P13. Andrew's having a decent race here, and he's having a real good battle with Jelly now. So let's see what he can do. 57% the battery, so he's been managing that battery really nicely. The only people carrying penalties, oh, he just gives him a little touch, but it's nothing to worry about. It's just good. Oh, he clips the wings there too. Didn't lose any end plates. He's still okay, but he's obviously pushing so hard. Andrew wants this P12. Oh, he's pushing. He's leaving it so late on the brakes. He is really trying hard, and he's putting this Alpine of Jelly under severe pressure, and he's trying to force the mistake. Just runs onto the wet to keep the tires going as best as he possibly can, and he's having a great showdown here with the Alpine of ERC Jelly NL. So we're on the final lap of the race, and I'm going to do what I always do, and I'm just going to bring the leaders home. and I don't see anything there apart from Schmitty, and I haven't been on much with the Schmitty. Sorry, Schmitty. I normally do ride on board with you a lot, but you haven't had the best race this evening, and you've been struggling, and everybody has a race like that. You'll be glad to see the end of this one. But he's got the pace here, 195 miles per hour, right up to 198 on intermediate tyres. Lap 29. And we're going to ride on board with Dystopian, who's still licking away at that ice cream. He's eaten his flake, he's licked all the strawberry sauce off, and he's just munching away at his jelly babies, filling his little body full of sugar, regenerating himself and coming in at a really, really beautiful first place. 7 seconds of a lead here in Miami PRF1 Lauda division. So he sweeps round the final left. And will he give us a little wiggle? Of course he does. Well done, Dystopian. P2. Blonde. Well done, Blonde. You deserve a wiggle too. Here comes my friend Gareth Minimad. He will be absolutely delighted with a podium this evening here in PRF1. Well done, Gareth. Here comes Linsky, or Master Bear, sorry, in the Alpine. What a good P4 for you, sir, but you had a 10-second penalty and that has just wrecked you. Here comes Master Spread. He's driving the Williams tonight and he's got himself a P7. Godwin P8. His race was spoilt by that incident, which will be sorted out by the stewards, I'm sure. And Slippery Salmon, he comes in on P9 as he swoops round that final left-hander before that sweeping right-hander onto the start-finish line. And he's glad to get over the line. And Mike Legend, here comes Mike in the Ferrari. Fastest lap this evening was 1:38.5. Gaza says, not the way I would like for a podium. You just take that podium, Gaza, and you be proud, buddy, because I'm proud of you. You're my friend, and you've come into this league. I have brought you into this league. I have introduced you to these guys, and by God, you have not made any fool of yourself up to now, and you have now firmly put yourself in the reckoning as one of the fast drivers in the PRF1 Lauda division, and take a bow, and that's a well-deserved P3. Wow, what a race. What a stream. What an air show. And above all that, we had Tom Cruise on the grid. A fantastic night of racing here at PRF1 in Miami, in the rain. He looks down at his teammates and he says, there you go. Dystopian opens the champagne. He sprays it over the guys. The celebrations are immense. Dystopian, steady, sensible, clever, mature, patient driver, all in those words. Race winner Dystopian, fastest lap Godwin, driver of the day Linsky, most overtakes Linsky, Blonde gets the cleanest driver. What a race, what a night, and for once I was technical free, and I think we will all enjoy that stream watching it back. I'm certainly happy with it. You guys should be really happy that you had such a good race. Couple of little incidents, as always, the stewards will sort them out. But in general, what a race, guys. And it was a pleasure, as always, doing comms for your league. I finish every stream by thanking everybody that runs the league, from Clem, Fuse, Dystopian, all the lads, the guy that looks after all the stats. They all work furiously behind the scenes to make this a platform for you guys to have a great Tuesday night. And I think you would all join me in thanking them for running a great league. And you are very privileged to have a seat in this league because it's growing, it's popular, and you should be very, very satisfied that you're in there and part of it. So, on that note, it's GAVINBASS1. I love doing comms for you guys because you provide clean racing at the most of times. There's no assholes in here. It seems to be a bunch of really good F1 fans who love their simulated driving and they take it very seriously. And that comes across loud and clear, certainly from where I sit. So have a wonderful week. Enjoy the rest of your racing if you're racing in any leagues further on. I'll be back on Saturday night for the Hamilton division for the 100% race. I look forward to that. And I want to say, as always, keep it clean and keep her lit. Gavin Bass, over and out, and good evening.
GAVINBASS1 on the microphone. The energy is high, feel the vibe in the zone. Engines roar as the lights go down. Racers ready, it's a battle for the crown. Who will rise? Who will stand tall? On the top step, they'll answer the call. With hearts racing and spirits ignited, the champion's moment is finally sighted. Adrenaline pumping, the crowd is alive. Speeding through corners, they take the dive. Every lap counts, the stakes are set. In this game of skill, there's no room for regret. Listen closely, hear the engine scream. Chasing glory, living the dream. Battles unfold on the asphalt track. In pursuit of victory, there's no turning back. Feel the thrill as the tires grip tight. Under the stars, everything feels right. Each curve a story, each turn a chance. In this high-speed dance, we all advance. As the checkered flag waves, the night concludes. The champion shines in the spotlight's hues. With the roar of the fans, they take their bow. F1 Saturday night, see you next time. Wow! GAVINBASS1 on the microphone. The energy is high, feel the vibe in the zone. Engines roar as the lights go down. Racers ready, it's a battle for the crown. Who will rise? Who will stand tall? On the top step, they'll